Hannah Beth, would you just tell us, this is an exciting day for you, being baptized, but we need to know, the daughter of a minister, 24 years old, coming forward saying, I need to be baptized. Could you kind of walk us through the process of how we got here this morning?
I've been convicted lately, and as growing up as a minister of music's daughter, just naturally being Hana Beth Baker, I should have everything together. I have this like burden of just, it's Hana Beth, she has everything together. No, not necessarily. I was baptized at 7, but I was only introduced. Okay, I did not understand and grasp what exactly the gospel was. So my sophomore year of college, I was in a dark place. I was in a place where there was a lot of conflict, a lot of confusion. It was a difficult time. I can't even explain how dark of a place it was. But obviously I was good at it if other people didn't know. But there was one day while I was fighting and battling, my dad came, and he came up to where I was, came up to the school, and we had a chat. And my dad essentially just loved on me and showed compassion, and the only word I could think of was grace. In that time in my life, I did not deserve what I was getting. I didn't deserve what I was receiving from my daddy. To me, that was the first part and the beginning of God revealing himself to me and just starting to change my life. And after that, it kind of went through about probably a year of just hard and still fighting and not really caring about getting into the Word, not really caring about really seeking this thing that I called the gospel or Jesus, and so it was probably about a year and a half later, a friend of mine that I care about dearly, she came and pretty much just said, hey, HB, just want to let you know I'm praying salvation for you. You're not bearing any fruit, and I don't know where you are, so I'm just praying that God saves you. And that hit home for me, and I was like, what is she talking about? Like, I'm saying, what is she talking about? And so I went back to my room. Just such a battle between my flesh and just like not doing what I wanted and being the ruler of my life and not wanting to give that up. But that night I repented of my sins, and I believe that night I was saved, straight up at the exchange in Auburn, Alabama. And what happened that night, I died to myself. I surrendered the fact that I was ruler of my life, and now God was ruler of my life. But still felt shameful, still felt guilty. And it wasn't until January of 2014, I heard Louis Giglio. He was talking about a passage, Isaiah 6. And this passage was just presented in such a simplistic way, in such a comprehensible way, that I felt like I saw Jesus, and I saw exactly what he did for me in the gospel. Because in that passage, Isaiah he encounters God. He's in the temple and he sees the seraphs, and they're saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty." And then the temple is filled with smoke, and that's encountering God. And what does Isaiah do? He falls to his knees and he says, "Woe is me! I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. But I've seen the glory of God." And with Louis talking about it, and just so simplistic, and then he tied in with Isaiah 53 about how they were talking about prophesying Jesus coming, the Messiah coming, and talking about how he was going to be slain, he was going to be killed like a lamb, but he never said anything. He was silent the whole time. And then what does it say in verse 10? It says that God was pleased to crush him severely crush him, and that changes everything. And Jesus did that for me, and he was crushed for me, and from then on, I've been totally different. I've been totally different. I haven't. It was the renewing of my mind. That was the first thing that happened. Is that he changed the way I thought. He changed my process of thinking about things, about situations coming, and now baptism to me is a symbol, All right, I want to be just like Jesus. I want people to see me and see the image of Jesus. And what did he do? He was baptized. Why? Because it was a symbol. But this, I wanted to publicly confess it to my church family, that I am saved and I'm a believer and I'm a child of God.